Hey everybody, it's Linda C, and this is my very first file folder journal that I made. I used an old jelly print that I had doctored for the cover and some old, very old scrapbooking letters to make the journal. I like to include old artwork. This was a watercolor I had done in a Tony Burke, I believe it was Tony Burke class. This was started January 26, 2021, and it was completed March 20th, 2021. I don't want to offend anyone with my views on certain politics, so I have covered this up. The girl's hair just kind of went over. This was an abstract inspired by one of Christy's lessons. I had put tape down around so I could have a nice clean edge, and the tape stuck to the file folders, so we have a little bit of texture here. This was a collage that went wrong. It was part of the Wanderlust class that I had taken last year, and I just stopped and decided it was a hot mess. However, this is a photograph of my grandmother from, I don't know the year. I should have looked that up. Christy had done an abstract, so I just kind of went nuts and filled both pages with abstract. Collage is something that I do all the time. I just love it. This is one of the girls inspired by one of Christy's lessons. More collage and another girl. This is, I believe this is watercolor. And I was really surprised to go back and look and see that I was doing 3/4 faces a year ago. Not very well, but I was doing them, and had I stuck with them, they might have gotten better. I need to move this over a little bit. More abstract. This piece of collage here is something that Christy sent me, and then I extended it out, which is something that she's doing in lessons now. This is a girl inspired by one of Christy's lessons. Again, this is what we used to do. This was a Patreon lesson, and we took a photograph and then extended it out, where I painted the trees and added mountains and whatnot. I don't actually remember the lesson. There was a reason why we did it like this, but I honestly don't remember. And then Jill introduced us to neographic art, and I added some watercolors to it. If you haven't tried this, I highly recommend it. It's really kind of meditative. Two more Gauss Sprite girls. This is ephemera that Christy sent me, and then I had gotten the Gauss Sprite earring stencils, and I was testing those out. More neographic art, collage, and a watercolor. I think that's watercolor. I'm not actually sure. And something I else just realized, that if you do journal in colored pencil, it does tend to fade over a while, unless it was like that to begin with, that I just don't remember. Another 3/4 face and a bunny. If this is all from Christy, if I don't know what to do with pages, I just kind of add stuff and then just turn the page. I love this quote, and I wanted to add it. There comes a point in your life when you need to stop reading other people's books and write your own. Albert Einstein. I just love that. This was an envelope that Christy sent. This is hers, and I didn't know what to do with that page, so I just left it. I was testing out the bullseye stencil from Gauss Sprite, and another 3/4 face. Always like leaves, always adding leaves to pages when I don't know what else to do. This was a YouTube with Gauss Sprite. We had done an abstraction of the girl's hair. I love this. I love the way it turned out. I should remember to do this again. Did her and then didn't know what to do over here, so just added collage. That happens. This was a lesson in how to start with a girl and then add elements and paint in your background. I really, really enjoyed that. The eyeglass stencils arrived. So we just had to do all the girls with eyeglasses. More neographic. This is one of my favorite spreads of all times. This was a lesson. And I have February 22nd, 21 on it. It was on Patreon. It was all about the animals and green and breathing healthy. And I love everything about this. It took me 2 or 3 days to do this, and I just really, really like it. Because that turned out so well, I decided to try the concept again. I like this. And then we have a hot mess. When you don't know what to do with a hot mess, you just journal a little bit and turn the page. I don't know what was under here. I did this separately and then just decided to glue it in. I am a Beatles fan from way back when. I was 16, February 9th, 1964. And so I like to mark things that are important to me in connection with the Beatles, because they were part of my growing up and becoming aware of the world. Another girl, this is acrylic. It must have been a really miserable day for me to say I was longing for the sun. And just messing around, you know, keep adding stuff to the page. More eyeglass stencils. Obviously, I became bored with this and didn't know what to do. This is a collage that I had done a couple years previous, and I wanted to save it, so I glued it in here. And back to collage. She's one of my favorite girls that I've ever done. She is watercolor. And this was a Golf Sprite stencil. This was a lesson. This is napkin that I put down with matte medium. And then we did a girl. And I think this was sent to me by somebody. Excuse me. This was a lesson, a Patreon lesson. I love the way that turned out. And these are some of the Golf Sprite printables I decided to add. Excuse me again. Playing with flowers and collage. More collage. I don't know what I was trying to do here, but I obviously cut this apart. This had to have been a lesson, because I honestly don't remember. This was just me playing and finally saying enough is enough and walking away. I do that a lot, you know. If I just run out of ideas, or if it just becomes too busy for me, I just stop. Again, hot mess. Put the giraffe on it and say enough. I mean, this page is so thick. This turned out okay. Just messing around with collage and a girl. More Christie's printables. And the end. This is scrapbook paper. And that's it. Another, actually this is something old from a Dina Wakley class that I cut up to use for the back cover. So That's it. Thanks for watching, guys.